Hi, and welcome to a very special Coworking, a podcast about what makes Coworking special. And this month, we're talking with Nir Kelner from the Brain Embassy in Poland. But interesting thing, Nir is not from Poland; he's from Israel, and he's going to tell us all about this. But before that, Nir, thank you so much for being here with us this month.
Thank you for having me over here, Fanny. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is shared. As I was saying, so you're right now in Poland, but that wasn't always the case. So, how did it start, and how did you start working in the co-working industry?
So, I was born in Tel Aviv, born and raised in Tel Aviv. And ever since I was a little child, my dream was to become a hotel manager. My kids, they have like different dreams when they grew up. Most of my colleagues, one of them want to be a pilot, the other one wants to be a lawyer. But I wanted to be a hotel manager. It always looked bright to me, like this hospitality industry. And first time I made my dream when I graduated from school. I started being a student in the university. I took for my BA hotel management and tourism. After that, I continue and did my MBA and started my career in, let's say, not in the hospitality industry, but 10 years ago, it was my second time when I met my dream. I saw an ad. The company was Regis. I didn't know what Regis was. Just saw they are looking for a sales and business development position, so I applied. And that's where my journey started in the co-working industry. I spent 2 years in Regis. Was a very good co-working school for me. I think now they're more familiar in the name like IWG Group because they are holding multiple brands. Regis is only one of them. When I worked over there, so we launched the Spaces brand. It was the first brand being launched outside of Europe. So it ended up in Herzliya. It's a city maybe 10, 15 kilometers from Tel Aviv. Then I launched another co-working brand in Israel. It's the biggest one, still is. 12,000 square meters in the most prestige, iconic building in the center of Tel Aviv. It was a huge space, and we fill it up couple of months, so it was like a nice success. And then I realized that, like 8 years ago, I realized that I gained knowledge and experience in this industry, which allows me to help landlords to deploy co-working spaces within their own premises. So we start looking for those kind of landlords.
Yeah.
And the first one that I met was Adgar Investment and Development, where I currently work at the moment. And they had their own dream to fund their own co-working brand and operate it within their facilities. And this is exactly what we are doing today. It started 10 years ago, actually in June. The Brain Embassy celebrate our 10th anniversary. We're going to have a really nice event in Warsaw. You're welcome to join. We're going to be like a festival. Over here, we'll discuss the future of work. We'll discuss interesting topics around the co-working topics. So when I started the Brain Embassy, we had 3 locations in Warsaw. And then we expanded. We opened the one in Tel Aviv. Then we opened the one in Antwerp, Belgium. And we keep expanding the brand in Warsaw. At the moment, we have 7 locations in Warsaw, around 30,000 square meters. We are considered as the within the top three biggest operators in Warsaw at the moment, together with WeWork and IWG. And really exciting news that we are about to launch our first branch in Toronto, Canada. And so basically, our strategy is to embed the co-working spaces within our own premises. So we're acting both as the
Hmm.
landlord and the operator, which I believe brings something fresh, unlike most of the providers that they are basically tenants in the buildings. So we are kind of a tenant, but within our own
Yeah.
premises. So I believe it brings value both to the building and to our members because they can find everything under the same umbrella. We own the parking, we own the event space, we own all the facilities that basically our members mm, enjoy doing their staying with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that it's not the first time I'm hearing that I guess a co-working manager managing the co-working is part of a bigger brand managing different type of real estates, and that in own building or in own area they're doing multiple things because they go well together. There are cafes, restaurants, co-working, residents, businesses, or that, and it just works well to have that diversity. But before we talk a bit more about that, maybe let's go back to the beginning. You were saying that your dream was to, when you were younger, to work in hospitality, and you studied and you did something else. Then you came back through Regis and being in self development. But then, so you learn about his working things. But then maybe you might have thought that, yeah, I want to go back to real hospitality, maybe to maybe more like hotels or things like that, and not just working because it's similar but it's different.
I believe,
Yes.
that co-working is a true
Mm-hmm.
hospitality. This is our business. For me, it was a big challenge to bridge the gap from real estate to hospitality.
Mm.
When I start working for
Yeah.
Adgar, all the stakeholders, including in our company, they were treating this service as real estate, basically
Mm.
another type of real estate service. But moving forward, the stakeholders in Adgar realized that basically this is the hospitality, and our chairman call it workspitality because it's the combination of workspace and hospitality.
Yeah.
I am grateful for our CEO in Adgar and my board of directors. I think it was like a vision for them and they were like pioneers in
Mm-hmm.
this field because you don't find a lot of real estate stakeholders speaking out
Yeah.
loud about hospitality. Real estate companies they are more into the space, right? And we treat as the space as a platform, and we are like pulling our content and the content can be like different. First of all, we have events that we are hosting for our community. We have our yoga classes. We have our Pilates classes. In Tel Aviv, for example, we have a matcha counter for our members because it's really popular in Tel Aviv. So we are trying to provide the best workspace that it is possible for us, for our members, for them to flourish and to focus only on the important things they need to deliver,
Mm-hmm.
like their own business. And I believe we are using a lot of personal approach. At the moment, we count more than 4,000 members globally in the markets that we are operating in, which are like Israel, two cities, Tel Aviv and Palkafet, Warsaw and Antwerp. And so we are not huge, like we are not a corporate. So my team, they know most of the members by name. Most of them, they know what their like their personal status. If this guy got married, for example, last week, so we are going to acknowledge it. And or if this company, for example, they have a really important presentation for investors, we are going to acknowledge it. And so I think this is also something that make us a big difference basically, we combine a really nice space because we are the landlord, so it is possible for us to invest a bit more than the other provider within our own premises. We really put a lot of attention into details.
Mm-hmm.
Like we want to provide good acoustic solutions, for example, for our
Yeah.
tenants. I used to work like I visited a lot of
Mm-hmm.
co-working spaces, especially in Europe. I've been also exploring it in other places, but most of the spaces that I'm familiar with are based in like New York. And acoustic, I think this is something that I realized that providers need to put more focus on that. Because end of the day, for example, we are recording this session. I'm
Yeah.
in one of our spaces in Warsaw, and I have a guy sitting behind this wall and he's doing something else. He's like in the middle of a Zoom call, and I need to be focused on my podcast. He need to focus on his call. And this is enabled because we are providing a good acoustic solution that is like isolating each other. Is first the kitchen. Our kitchen is equipped with the fresh grinded coffee beans. By the way, in Warsaw, this is an interesting point. Warsaw was considered to be like relatively cheap city if you compare it, for example, to Paris, London, Vienna, or other capitals in Europe. But in the last years, it became a bit more expensive, but still coffee over here. To get a coffee, in Warsaw, I drink
Yeah.
Americano, right? So not the costly one. And it's still around 4 euros, which is
Yeah.
relatively, yeah, one coffee, 4 euro. So imagine that you are a digital nomad, right? You're looking a place to spend your day. You go to a coffee shop. Let's say you take two coffees a day, which are not that much, and you don't eat nothing, you still pay 8 euros a day. If you multiply it by 22, that's around, I don't know, 200 euros, which is about the price that you will pay for a full-time membership in the Brain Embassy. So, and I think the reason
Yeah.
for that coffee to cost 4 euro is not because of the cost of the beans, right? It's because that the operators realize that people take two coffees a day and spend the whole day in the same table.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an option, right? This is an option. If you would like to consume more coffees and have a great place to spend your day, so you can come over to our premises. We provide like the best coffee in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We really care about the wealth of our members. This is one of the values that we are trying to be focusing. So, for example, Wednesday, we
Mm-hmm.
have our yoga or Pilates session. And right after, we are providing like fresh fruits in the kitchen with the yogurt. So you can start your day like energized and be more like focused on your job. Another thing that it's really important for
Yeah.
us to enable a good environment outside of the private offices. So within our co-working spaces, like in the main lounge, you actually have furnitures, ergonomic
Mm-hmm.
furnitures that support it. So sometimes you want to go outside from your office, sit on a high chair. Yeah, but the high chair, it's not like a bar chair. It's like ergonomic chair that supports your sitting. So end of the day, you will not feel tired and you will feel energized. And this
Yeah.
is the thing we really try to emphasize, basically to combine the best workspace that we can provide with the
Yeah.
personal touch. So to know our members by name, to know what's bothering them, what they are dealing with in their day to day. So I think that's both
Yeah.
of the things that really makes us unique,
Yeah. It really
unique
feels
in the
like
market.
as soon as you got into co-working, it just clicked that whatever you studied in hospitality school, you would be able to apply it there, and you've been caring for your members just as you would have cared for any customers in a hotel or whatever. So it really feels that way. And go for it.
It's
Yeah.
about end of the day, I think the character matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need to be a people person. If you are a people person, so I believe there is a place for you in the hospitality industry. Some people, they are like do other things in a better way. For example, if you are a programmer, so you can sit patient in front of the screen and I don't know, come up with a different kind of
Yeah.
new ideas, let's say, or software or but for us, like for me and for my team, the majority of us, let's say 90% of us, we are a people person. We make our living, let's say, or what brings us up and cheers us up is like the personal contact with the other people, which is another thing that really happens in our spaces and like the networking. In each space, we have, let's say, something that brings people together. It can be like a ping pong
Hmm.
table. Over here, we have a shuffleboard, with people playing with it. We have tournaments around it. So you actually see the
Yeah.
members going out from their offices, not only doing lunch or coffee breaks and networking. Some of the
Yeah.
networking is informal talks like some of it
Mm.
are formal talks. Like, for example, you have a marketing agency, right? I have my own business, but I'm looking for someone to promote it in social
Hmm.
media. So, hey, maybe you can help me. And what's the best thing to rely? Just your neighbors, like they are the best one.
Yeah.
So, and it really happens in our spaces that members are collaborating, and it's really nice to see. Another thing that happening, like
Hmm.
people find jobs over here. Like sometimes someone is between jobs so he doesn't want to spend his day to day at home behind the screen. So he would like to be more on the front. So he's taking a membership instead of paying those €8 for the coffee. He's coming over here and takes like a membership. And over here, people like see opportunities. And I think it's another great thing that it's happened like
Hmm.
under our umbrella and
Yeah, that's super
within
nice to
our
hear.
premises.
And I've been in a lot of co-working spaces, and to me, that's the difference between co-working and flex office. You can brand them differently, but I've been to both of them. And to me, co-working is really where, like you said, hospitality meets workspace, and where a lot of things is being done to get members together, to do different things, or to provide different things, not just desk and chairs. And to me, flex office is okay, maybe they have coffee, maybe they have fresh fruit, but basically and we need that as well. It's a flex office. That's why the name is there. And some people they need that because they just want to get out of the house, or they need a place to work from a bit or something like that. And but to me, what I'm really looking for when I go to a co-working space is how I can meet other people, because I'm a freelancer. I work on my own. I work remotely, so most of the time I'm alone. And it's great to be in a place where I can meet coworkers, not from the same company, but and where things are happening. That takes an extra effort, the extra miles.
When was it? Yeah, 6 years ago, when there was a small virus hanging around.
Yeah.
Something small, right? So the COVID started, and
Mhm.
everybody were pushed back to work from home. And then there were talks around the question,
Yeah.
where is the future of work? Like, so a lot of people, they
Mhm.
just shut down their offices. So I remember it was like April, maybe 1 month after this pandemic started. I heard an interview with the CEO of a big company in the United States, live person. And he said, guys, like I found a way. I'm going to shut down all my offices. All of my employees started to work from home. And you know what? It's going great. It's going awesome. The productivity it's on a really high level. And we are sending them over perks, lunch. So everybody is happy. And there were more talks about people start to consume entertainment from home, like sitting in front of their screen. getting food deliveries, put a VR device on the eyes and think they are having their lunch on, I don't know, beach in Thailand while working from home in front of the screen. But
Yeah.
we are social creatures as human beings. It's
Mm-hmm.
like part of our nature. Yeah, like it's not about me being more extrovert or the other more introvert. The our common ground,
Mm-hmm.
we are like flesh and blood. So we are social creatures, and the social connection is one of our basic
Yeah.
needs. Maslow, he was a researcher. So he said, yes,
Mm-hmm.
people need to feel secure. People, all their physiological needs need to be like they need to eat, drink, sleep. This is part of us as human beings, right? So I was saying, hey guys, this will not work. And you know what? Why is the reason it will not work? Because
Mm-hmm.
we are social creatures, all of us, and we would look for the social interaction. So at first, yes, working from home can be like sometimes efficient. For my children, they are like my little daughter. She's a teenager at the moment. She's 15, but 15 years ago she was a baby. When she was a baby, me working from home, it was not. I didn't work from home 15 years ago. I'm just saying that if I had the option to work from home,
Mm-hmm.
this is something nice because I
Yeah.
like spend time with my family. Maybe I can like support a bit at home or pick the kids from the kindergarten, make lunch, and parallelly do the calls. But I believe you can do that, I don't know, one day a week. For me, it's like maximum. The rest of the day,
Mm-hmm.
go to your workspace. You can choose the workspace that works best for you, as you mentioned. Like the scale is wide. You can choose if you're looking for a wide box. Okay, you can find them at the markets. Or you are not, let's say you are not looking for social interaction. You would like really to be focused on your job. You can take a white box, a flex office, for example. By the way, in Adgar, we have this kind of product. We call it flex office, like Flexi. So someone is interested in a space, a decent space, not with the high materials. We can like an affordable price. Okay, we have this kind of product.
Mm-hmm.
We have a product called Ready Office. So you don't want to spend time decorating your office. You can have that, but on top of that, we are offering the co-working package
Mm-hmm.
also for those kind of products. So you can both in different premises and still take advantage of the co-working products like the
Mm-hmm.
events, the coffee in the kitchen, the networking, all the services that we offer within the co-working. And I believe each one find his
Yeah.
own suitable product. And if you ask me, if we look further, this where the
Yeah.
future of work stands. Like no more boring offices as we've seen in the past. And the talk is you need to deliver high-end workspace together with a warm hospitality, and then
Yeah,
like
there's
people
no
would like to be
one
part of it.
size fits all. It's all kind. It's very diverse. There's all kind of different and you can choose between. You can choose to work from home one day, to work from a white office, like you said, very simple one day because that's how you focus. To work in a co-working space with a lot of activity one day, from a coffee event, a cafe or so, and maybe go have a 1 hour commute to the headquarters to meet all your colleagues, but just one day. So it doesn't have to be every day. And you can choose that and you can change. And depending on where you're at right now, what's your family like, and what you want in your life, you can change that. So it's so flexible.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with
Mm.
that. And we
Yeah.
hear the feedback from our members. So we believe we are doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
The world is dynamic. Look, I
Mm.
was born in the late 70s. You know, my children, they ask me, Dad, what was your iPhone back then? We didn't have no iPhone. If I
Mm.
was as a teenager, when I wanted to get some social interaction, I basically went outside and whistled. downstairs for my friends. Like there was nothing, like I could not text, or I couldn't even I wasn't able to send an emails. There was no emails back then. So and look, today each of us are going around with a mobile phone, which basically over there we have our social media, our emails. So this is like
Yeah.
the main source of interaction for us. In the past, it was there. So the world is changing
Mm-hmm.
rapidly and dynamic, and we need to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
For example, AI. Yeah. So everybody is saying AI is going to change the way we work. I don't have a crystal ball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what like the future is all for us. But yeah, we can assume that it will be like a massive change when companies will implement, and like they are implementing those tools. And we are also looking for tools, AI tools that will allow us to provide like a higher level of service. But let's
Mm-hmm.
say our bread and butter, it's not technology. It's like a physical space with a
Mm-hmm.
physical bricks and materials that like are tangible. You could actually feel them, and the human interaction. Like I don't see that robots in the future will replace our community team in our community
Yeah.
desk. We call the reception the community desk. I don't see like
Mm.
robots over there moving forward. Right. Like
Mm.
this is not a value that I support. I do support like the person interaction. I believe in that. And moving forward, yeah, we may use technology, like
Mm-hmm.
more technology tool within our spaces, but the baseline is a physical space plus, as I said,
Yeah.
human
No, that's great. And
interaction.
I was going to ask you what's next, but I guess that's what's next is double down on your strength, on the people side, on the human touch, and all that, because that's what works. And that's, as you were saying, your bread and butter.
Personally speaking, I think like I find my way. I have friends, they are my age, and the question, what would you like to do when you will be like, I don't know, older?
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them has an answer for that. I do have an answer for that. Like this industry is like streaming in my veins, like all of my flesh and blood. So it's all over me. And of course, my main focus at the moment is to expand the Brain Embassy, make it more profitable, more successful. Like our team, I have 60
Mm-hmm.
people in the team globally. They're like family. We have our dogs.
Mm.
I know all of them, all the
Yeah.
people. So,
Mm.
I found my tribe in a way. So you ask me, yeah, definitely co-working. This is the my future, and I believe it also goes along with the future of work. It might be a good place
To be
for
right
both
now.
of
Yeah,
us.
true. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Unfortunately, we're coming towards the end, but it was such a great conversation. Thank you. And before we're leaving, if people wants to know more about you, about what you're doing, and about the brand ambassador, how can they contact you?
So with pleasure, I'm a really open person. You can find me in social media, Nir Kelner. Don't think there are a lot of people with this name. So you can search in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. My email is really simple, is near@brainembassy.com. You can reach out. I will be very happy to host you in one of our premises. I'm based in Warsaw. I travel to Tel Aviv and
To
Antwerp,
Canada.
but soon to Toronto, but
Yeah,
to Canada, yeah, which is really exciting. But I'm based in Warsaw. I spend the time in Warsaw most
hmm
of the year, so you can reach out, contact me with pleasure. I will be
great.
very
If people
happy to
want to know
speak and
more about the
discuss.
brand ambassador or contact your team, where can they find you?
Like 1 year
Woohoo!
ago, we finished our website. So we worked like almost 2 years
Yeah.
on the new version of our website. So you can reach out over there, all
Okay.
the information about all the locations. can be found over there. And also in the Instagram, we spend a lot of resources
Yeah.
funding out nice Instagram accounts. So you can do like Brand Embassy Tel Aviv, it's a separate account, Brand Embassy Warsaw, separate account, Brand Embassy Antwerp, all the pictures over there, cool videos of our premises, of our,
Okay,
really
great. Thank you. I
recommend
will
to
add all
follow.
those links in the show notes so that they're easily accessible. And for now, thank you so much, Nir. It was a great conversation, and see you soon on social media, or maybe in Warsaw or Antwerp or Tel Aviv or even Canada now. But
Looking forward, Fanny. Thank you very much for having
thank
me
you.
today.
Bye
It was a
bye.
great conversation. Bye bye.